Alright, here at No Reserve we have our all-original 1984 Chevy K10. It's a Scottsdale half-ton 4x4, so it's got the full 8-foot bed. It's got the V8 305 auto. It's the 4-speed transmission, so it's a granny low and then 3 gears, but there is 4 gears. It's a beautiful white. It's pretty much always been a local truck here in Washington State. One owner until we purchased it a little bit ago. It's beautiful original condition, mostly original paint. The only been around this thing, and the only area I can find where there's been some paint work is a long time ago on the driver's fender, and the only way I could really tell is there's some little chips right here. Really hard to see in the video. Let's see if it'll focus in a little bit, but you'll see some white underneath it where and then there's a little bit, you can see where they've sprayed it in. Right in there into the cowl. You can see some overspray over time tripped off. But everywhere else, if it gets chips like that, it's you know, the black primer that they used back in the day. So you know, if you're gonna have paint work, this is the original front glass, you're gonna have signs of taping or overspray along there. This is just some dried wax from when I waxed it, but you would get some you know, tape marks and overspray there, especially along this area. You know, back in the day, people aren't going to be pulling these things off to get these things repainted. All along all the rubbers, there's no marks. Original decal, you know, always a sign if something gets sprayed you'll have some paint come across here. You can see the dried wax that's wiped off came on my hand there. But also here, you know, you'll see tape marks and overspraying on the bolts. And this is kind of how this one actually, these ones came. Plus along the emblems and stuff like that. You'll see, like, you know, it would be paint marks, and you know, just because in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that, I mean, this thing definitely didn't get any type of full restoration. It's got, you know, odometer rolled over. It's at 25,000, so it's 125,000 miles. So we'll go ahead and go down this. It's an original truck, so you're gonna get that patina look with some little had a bug guard on it one time, so it created some surface rust right here and on the underside where the tabs were. But you will see like little chips and stuff like that. There is these tiny little black marks in the paint. It looks like maybe some overspray, maybe somebody's spray painting something and it got a little bit of overspray. There is a little bit on this side too. I'm not too sure, but original front grille. You know, it does have a little crack right here. All the silvers are faded. You know, there's some of these little kind of orange marks too on the paint, but it's hard to tell because of the white, but the paint is shiny. You know, it's not a base coat clear coat. It's an old single stage paint, so it doesn't have that shine that a clear coat would. But white, even base coat clear coat, is hard to show in pictures and videos, but it does have a nice sheen to it. It's not flat, it's smooth to the touch. It waxes up nice. You know, this truck's cool because nothing's ever been off of it. Bumper's never been off, none of the fenders have ever been messed with. All of the panel gaps you'll see along the hood here is really nice. The hood and the grill gap is perfect. Come over here, nice gap. You know, they obviously, in 84, I mean, the panel gaps off the manufacturing line aren't like what they were today. But you know, right here, this is an extremely solid truck. This truck's got no cancer. You do have some, you know, surface rust along here where the paint's chipped. But I mean, all you square body guys know, you look at the inside of inner fender there and there, and you see how nice this is. And we got tons of underside photos, a lot of outside photos. There's probably 400, close to 400 pictures of this truck from the underside to the top, and we will do a video of it up on the lift. But you can see the bulkhead's never been squished forward. You can see even how clean the bed is. The bed bolts all the way through. You hop underneath this thing, the fuel tank's nice and clean. You know, not crazy clean, of course, but it's a nice sanitary condition. Still got the rubber protection piece. The frame's really nice and clean, you know, for its age especially. But it's got the 16-inch wheels with the factory caps. It's got BFG all-terrains with, you know, the KO2s. Tons of tread left. The tires, I think, are about 5 years old. You know, you're going to have some wear and stuff like that, some entry wear, some chips like that, but you look along here too, you know, you would have that overspray and paint markings. All the trim it's nice to see all the trim's intact, but it's in nice condition. Still got a nice shine to the aluminum. You got some surface rust here from just wearing off the paint. Same along the bottom, you get a little bit of surface rust from just the rock chips throughout the years. But I mean, gosh, we know that, you know, truck's almost 40 years old. I mean, we've seen these trucks, I mean, even after a few years old in some states, would just rust out here. And I got photos underneath the inside of the wheel lip. You know, of course, you got the surface rust again from stuff getting kicked up. All original lenses. The inside of the bed is in unbelievable condition. There'll be full photos of that. This is a sweet tonneau cover. Folds up in 3 separate pieces and then hangs up there. I won't do that in the video, but I will have pictures of the inside of the bed with the tonneau cover folded up for you. All the glass is original, and it has the, as you'll see in the photos, it's tough to focus on this. There we go. So they got the safety flow light emblem. The front glass is original. Partly reasons we left it in there is because it is the original glass. On the other side, you'll see the flow light emblem on there. Does have some chips that you'll obviously see, but being the original window is impressive in itself for being almost 40 years old. But since there is a weight on that, we just kind of left the window in there because there's a chance, you know, this thing's more likely going to get shipped out, and I'd hate to wait 6 months for a window and replace that original piece, and then it gets a chip in it on the delivery. So leave that up to the next guy. Personally, I love originality. I love clear glass also, so I'm not sure if I would replace it or leave it, and that's why I've left it, because I couldn't make a decision. You know, see little tiny chips here in the paint. I'll take you around the back. Inside the gas door, really nice and clean. Again, if it's been painted, you would see blasting and overspray over these bolts. Goofy little gas caps have been replaced. All the original caps, I love those dog dish type poverty caps. You know, lenses original. Top of the tailgates, you got a little bit of surface rust, some scratches throughout the years. I love this year, the tailgate, where it's got the little script raised Chevrolet. Rear bumper's in nice shape. You look underneath there, it's just clean as a whistle. Again, the passenger side. There is a little bit of dent underneath here, a soft one. I didn't even notice it when I first bought it, but it's pretty old, but it looks like someone backed into it and then they just replaced the trim, and kind of laughed because it's like, you know, you see some scratches or some chips down here. Being an original paint truck, I would probably do the exact same thing. You almost don't even notice it first. I wouldn't want to repaint this quarter panel or anything on the bedside. A couple little scratches here. Again, what's crazy is behind this cab, how clean this is. Same type of, I'll hop down here, same type of surface rust you'll see on the other side from just the stone chips. This is the protection piece. You actually can take this off. It's discolored. It originally came back in the day clear, and they just discolor and crack. So you could get a 3M wheel and take that off, but I wanted to leave it just because a eraser wheel takes that off, and you'd want to take the trim off too. I just want to leave it because it just shows this is an original paint truck. Got some edge on the trim, but all the trim's in nice shape. You don't got any door dings on any of them, which is kind of like amazing. Same surface rust. Inside the wheel wells, nice and clean and solid. You see inside that bed side, it's just, when you come to an old truck, especially a square body, that's what you want to see inside these bed. Door felts are nice. All the wing windows are nice and tight. Bulkhead isn't smashed in. Got lots of pictures of the roof. Again, this, I think it's oxide primer, I think is what it's called. But trying to get it to focus, you get these little chips here. That's why you'll see some of the trucks from the 70s, the C10s, where the paint's worn off, and it's, especially on the metallics, and it's like black underneath. It actually gives a pretty cool look. Got the automatic hubs, which is kind of like a thing of the future back then. Got the shocks replaced, diff service, really clean. It's cool to see this. I don't want to pull too hard and break a tab or break the. Look how clean that is. It's nuts. A little bit of surface rust inside the inner fender. You know, they get lots of stone chips and stuff kicking up there. See some of the paint wore off. But I mean, this truck is just awesome. You know, both wing windows, or the window frames, got a little bit of surface rust with the black has wore off. But to me, if you go through and paint that stuff, it's just kind of, then you kind of like, what are you looking at? It just jumps out of place at you. Take inside here, both rockers. A little bit of surface rust here where the rubber kind of wears, you know, but it's same spot there, but I mean, that's, you know, all solid metal. You know, there ain't, you don't get that thick, deep sound that you get if you hit some rust spot. So I'll jump you around this door. Again, original bolts, never messed with, no paint on them. You see, look at the door hinges, they're just nuts on this thing. No rust. I mean, these things usually you get all kinds of surface rust and door panels got some fading up here. They have that kind of, it gets kind of like the plastics of the 80s, it gets kind of like chipped a little bit. You know, this gets a little bit loose. You can push it back into place sometimes. I would grease the windows up. They're a little bit tough going down. I'll roll them down in the driving video and everything when I got the GoPro on. It's a little bit easier. Dash is of course cracked, but you can get these new Brothers truck parts. That's what's so great about these trucks. LMC trucks, Brothers truck parts. I mean, both, you know, visors stay in place and not wore down and hanging. Again, you'll see the chipping in a couple areas. Got your gun rack, of course. I love this old style headliner. It's just the inside of the cab, just shiny paint. You know, not missing the cap, all the little stuff. You know, this is obviously got some wear. Original vinyl floors is in excellent condition. You know, you got some wear and a crack here, but to find it intact and this nice is actually, oddly enough, a rarity. Manual shift, transfer case, original seat, little tear here. Obviously there's some tear over there. Still has this cardboard storage area. The seat belts, you know, have the retract issues. You know, this one kind of bundles up and you gotta, you know, pull up on it and it tightens up eventually. But ashtray, never been used. This truck's got no odors. You know, it's pretty clean in there. Glove box has its, we have the original owner's manual, the title, but it also has the Tonneau Pro tonneau cover. It's not all busted out or anything like that. All the plastic's in nice shape. Still got the decal. You know, door panels never been off. Still got the original AM stereo, so you don't got to worry about broken corners, broken tabs, no mismatched screws. You see all those are the original screws. Every corner is tight. You know, people, these do get brittle, so people pull these door panels off and you'll snap an ear off. It's just a bummer. Then you can't have a new door panel and an aged door panel. Take you around here to the driver's side and then we'll jump under the hood and then we'll go for a rip. So it's got some era type stuff, you know, of course dash is cracked. And that's kind of interesting how these things were. This is the original dash pad. These are the original door panels. You know, you got tan and then you got the dark brown. And you kind of have a couple different colors going on here. But of course, seats were, it's actually still comfortable, but it is a little beat down. You can see by the pedals, you know, this is why I believe this thing to be 125,000 original miles. I mean, you got not a lot of wear on there. It is missing the e-brake one. They just pop off. Old school trailer brake controller. It's got tack in there that works. Steering wheel rim has no cracks. You know, gauges are a little bit faded. Everything works though. Heater works. Yeah, stereo works. We'll get that going in the other video. You can see the rubbers. It's a little wore here from the black, but it's just got that little slit right there. Other than that, it's just, man, nice and tight and clean. Same problem. You know, it's you pull it out and it kind of goes back about that much, and you know, you gotta do that. But you can get these new new, and it might look kind of nice. I'd put some new black ones in. Gun rack, you know, it's missing this little thing here. It's not missing this thing. I don't know why the camera's just having a heck of a go this time. A little wear on the paint. You see the door jambs are really nice. You know, this piece is a little, you see it stays, but a little bit of fading and wear here. Again, no broken corners. Oh, this is really nice. And then this is the most amazing part. I mean, geez, I can't remember seeing a square body like that again. You know, we got a Suburban that's extremely clean, and then we bought this thing. It's just, these things are just tough to find. We look at a lot of them, and oftentimes you show up and just get disappointed. Underneath the hood's not spotless, of course, but it's really clean for what it is. You know, we got new shocks going around, full tune-up, spark plug wires, caps. You know, front and rear end service. Gear oil's been changed in the rear in the trans. And that's just surface rust up there too. It's cool to see original blower motor. Still got the paint dot on it. See the motor's like nice and honest condition. Still got the factory air cleaner. Guys, take those things off. That's what's cool about getting original owner truck. Still got the decal for the jack's in place. Another thing that's cool is this little stuff like this, the original hold down for the batteries there. I mean, all the little rubber grommets, nothing's been messed with. Nobody's spliced into anything. You know, you look how clean these connections are. You know, you look at these trucks throughout the years. I mean, you just don't find plugs that are that nice. I mean, it's just the little stuff on these trucks. It's just amazing. You look at the bolts on the frame. Super clean. A little surface rust on the inner fender, but no cancer type rust. It's not falling apart. Again, you look how clean the frame is here. The power steering box. You know, you're gonna find dirt, of course, but that's what you want. But again, look at this. I mean, it's just, you know, this is probably for the trailer brake controller, the orange wire there. Brake booster still got that nice little anodized look. Look at these hood bolts. They're super clean. I mean, no paint marks on there. You know, no overspray on the rubber seal. You know, got the 5 liter, which is does the job just fine. You know, they got those in the 307 got a pretty bad rap, but really, if you jump into 1972 307 to 350, they're not much too of a difference. Just like a 1984 350 305, especially the manual transmission, you just don't really feel the difference. The rubbers are in nice shape, all the bolts. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead and fire up, let it warm up a little bit, and then we'll head out and do our driving video. So this is going at no reserve. 84 Chevy K10 4x4, one owner before us, and it's got 125,000 original miles. So good luck.